So it's almost the end of 2023, and that means it's the holiday season. Everybody is out buying gifts for their friends and family, and comic book fans are no different. However, as a comic book fan, I can admit we're kind of hard to shop for sometimes. There's so many different books and so many different characters, nobody really knows what we do and don't have. So I've put together this list of 10 holiday gift ideas for comic book fans to help you out. First thing I'm going to mention is clothing. Comic book themed t-shirts, pajamas, hats, hoodies, anything like that is a perfect gift for a comic book fan. And most comic book fans are fans of multiple different characters, so you can get them a variety of stuff to wear. So if the comic book fan in your life is really passionate about what they're into and they want to show it off to the entire world, consider a piece of clothing with their favorite characters on it, or maybe something from their favorite publishers. Item number 2 on the list is going to be wall art. And this can range from a variety of items such as framed pictures of their favorite characters or covers of their favorite comic books. Even all the way, if you really want to spend some money, you can go and get some original art prints from their favorite artists. But either way, some kind of art piece of some of their favorite comic book characters to put on their wall is going to be something that any comic book fan is going to appreciate. And speaking of mounting things on the wall, the next item is something that most people might not think about, but wall mounting options. Display racks or brackets to mount their graded comic books on the wall, or just display them on a shelf without the fear of them falling over, is something that a lot of comic book fans want to do, because as collectors, we like to show off our collections. So giving a comic book fan the ability to show off their collection to everybody is something that they're going to like. And like I said, these can vary from small display stands so that they can prop them up on a shelf without the fear of them falling over, all the way up to actual brackets to where you can mount graded comic books on the wall. In fact, I did a whole video about comic book display options that you can find up here. And this brings us into item number 4. If the comic book fan in your life attends a lot of comic book conventions, consider getting them a good size, sturdy backpack. Books add up really quick at a comic book convention, especially if you're buying those trades or the thick collector's editions. The weight and the awkward shapes can really do a number on your back. So ensuring that the person has a good quality, sturdy backpack that can carry a lot of items is a huge advantage for a comic book fan attending a comic book convention. Because aside from just the books they might buy, they also might be buying memorabilia or clothing or any number of items that they don't necessarily want to carry in their hands the entire convention. And it's an added bonus if the backpack has wheels. Coming to the halfway point, a lot of comic book stores and independent sellers do this, but comic book mystery bags. A lot of them have a chance at getting a rare comic book inside the pack, and most of them are relatively cheap. Now, you'll have to do some hunting online because these are usually online only things, so do some searching on Google and you'll find some comic book shops around the country, or even just independent sellers that are putting together like 5 or 10 comic book mystery packs. And if they're also a content creator on top of a comic book fan, then a mystery pack makes a perfect unboxing video. Next up, you can kind of see an example of this on one of the shelves behind me, but bookends for trade paperbacks and collected editions. If you don't have something holding these books up, they get heavy, they will lean, they will fall over. So a bookend is just one of those small things that most collectors don't think about at first, but come in really handy later on when you start accumulating a lot of books. And I don't think I need to spend too much time on this, so I mean, go on Amazon or go on Google, you'll find all kinds of examples of cool bookends that a comic book fan would be into, and I'll be sure to leave a bunch of links to specific items for all of these suggestions down in the description at the end of the video. Item number 7 on the list is going to be coffee mugs. If the comic book fan in your life is anything like me, they are also a caffeine addict, so a coffee mug with some of their favorite characters or maybe their favorite publisher's logos on them is something excellent, because us coffee addicts always need new coffee mugs. And if they don't drink coffee, they can still make a nice little display piece that they can put stickers or pens or pencils in. Item number 8 is kind of an encompassing topic, so I'm just going to call this miscellaneous and novelty items. This can be anything. I'm talking socks, pins, buttons, stickers, little stuff, keychains, rings, bracelets, sunglasses, anything with a comic book character or comic book themed, they'll be happy with, because even if it's not something they can technically use or read, it'll still be another item for the collection, and the collection is never done. Side note, Funko Pops would also go into this category, and if you're a collector of any kind, you know about Funko Pops. They are all over the place. They come for pretty much any character or fandom you can possibly think of. So a Funko Pop is usually a safe bet for any collector. Next up, digital comic book subscription platforms. What I'm talking about are apps like Global Comics, like Marvel Unlimited, like DC Universe Infinite. There's a plethora of different ones. So whatever their favorite publisher is, they usually have an app where they can read those books digitally. And this comes in real handy if you guys don't have a local comic book shop near you, like a lot of people don't. So giving a comic book fan who doesn't have access to a comic book store a way to actually consume comic books without having to even leave the house, that's going to be a plus in any comic book fan's book. Comic book fan's book. Yeah, that made sense. And the last one is probably going to be one of the easiest options, and that's gift cards to local comic book shops. So go into your local comic book shop, speak to the owner, speak to the employees behind the counter. Most shops have some kind of gift certificate or gift card that you can get for them. And that way the comic book fan you're buying gifts for can actually go and select what they want, as opposed to you picking something off the shelf and praying to God that they don't already have it. And it's hard to beat free comic books for a comic book fan. So those are 10 holiday season gift ideas for comic book fans. If this gave you some ideas or helped you out this holiday season, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know what you guys are picking up for your comic book fans in your life. And if you want to pick them up something unique and different, you could check out one of my top 5 videos right here that'll tell you some of my favorite independent comic books from 2023.